Hey, friends! Your old pal, Barkey Dog here, back with another movie review. This time I have something a bit different for you. A Kaiju movie. But from China. We're talking about Snow Monster, also known as Snow Monster vs. Ice Shark, from 2019. Our story goes like this. Our heroine, Lady McResearcher, works for her dad's company, involved in a research operation. She's part of a team investigating Arctic stuff, even though the place is more like Antarctica or maybe the Himalayas or something, I don't know. Then, disaster strikes when the team is attacked by something and all contact is lost. Her dad can't go, so her uncle McRescuer, puts together another team to rescue her. He needs experts, so to that end, he employs dashing McHero Guy, Lady McResearcher's former love interest, and an expert on lots of stuff. The team somehow winds up at this ancient site with ruins and monuments and all that kind of thing. McHero Guy figures out how to open a secret entrance that leads them deep beneath the ancient ruins, where the team gets attacked by these prehistoric-looking bat birds who take a lot off your mind, if you know what I mean. Most of them escape and wind up in the Arctic, where Lady McResearcher was last seen. How they got there? Don't know, just happened. Then the rescuers get attacked by ice sharks. Sharks that move through the ice and put the chomp on people. The team gets split up. Some of them, including Uncle McRescuer, encountering a giant snow monster. Later, the others discover what happened to Lady McResearcher. Turns out she survived and was found by these Native American elves and made friends with them. Now, these elves have a sort of psychic connection to the Bumble, the snow monster, through their high priestess, and they honor the monster. But watch out! Uncle McRescuer transforms into Corporate McBad Guy and switches over to Team Evil. Turns out he wants genetic samples from the snow monster so he can profit off it somehow. To that end, he and his henchmen try to force the Native American elves to cooperate with his evil plan at gunpoint. Meanwhile, our heroes naturally try to save the day. Now, no surprise, things don't go exactly according to plan for Team Evil, and they have to deal with an angry snow monster. So Corporate McBad Guy attacks the monster with some bad CGI. Can our heroes stop Corporate McBad Guy and find true love? Will the Native American elves survive this encounter with the modern world? And will Corporate McBad Guy get the genetic sample from the monster, or will he take a genetic sample from fate? Then our cast is, well, no one you'd know. I mean, no one I recognized. To be fair, they may be known in China, but I didn't know any of them. This one is a bit of a mashup with another genre called Mojin, sort of like the Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider genre of China. So these guys are tomb robbers, and they have to deal with all these amazing death traps and even supernatural forces when plying their trade in ancient tombs. Those are a lot of fun, those movies. Here, it's kind of combined with Kaiju. I thought the snow monster was pretty good when it was a guy in a suit. They used some CGI for his hands and stuff. That looked fake, but the suit is alright. Like Godzilla, they slow him down a bit to add weight to his movements, which makes him seem larger and more powerful. It's the same trick that made the Bionic Man seem like he was running faster, even though he was moving in slow motion. Now, one of the most brilliant solutions in all of television, am I right? It's right up there with the transporter on Star Trek. Since fast motion looked bad, they turned it around and used slow motion, and that totally worked. But we all know, if Jar Jar Abrams or some other idiot remade the $6 Million Man today, they'd just use fast motion and CGI. Ugh. Somebody put these people in a cage, honestly. Anyway, there are some questions with this one. How they get to the Arctic through a cave is anybody's guess. Is it a magic portal or what? Not really explained here. I assumed at first it was sort of a subterranean world, but then they call in fighter jets, so that's not the case. The biggest question I have with this kaiju monster is the same one I have for most kaiju. What do they eat? Okay, Godzilla and maybe Gamera, they're forces of nature, right? They don't really need to eat stuff. Godzilla absorbs radiation and Gamera consumes fire, I suppose, but actual food, those two don't seem to need it. But most of these monsters have to eat to sustain themselves, like any other life form. Rodan, for example, he eats giant caterpillars and livestock and people and stuff. But this here snow monster kaiju lives in an Arctic wasteland. What does he have to eat? How does he get enough to sustain himself? We do see him chomp on an ice shark, but there can't be that many of those. A creature this size would need to consume tons of food every day and would deplete the supply of ice shark fillets pretty quickly. There's not enough Native American elves to dine on either, but he doesn't really seem too interested in eating them anyway. Same for the killer bat birds. How do they survive for hundreds of years without food? Hibernation doesn't really cover it. And the ice sharks, they're kind of interesting, but there's no explanation for them either. Sharks have to eat a lot of food or they croak. So that isn't explained really, nor how they move through solid ice the way they do. At least they have these sort of spines, or whatever you'd call them, on their jaw. So that's a good design choice to make them a little more plausible. But even so. But we don't see too much of the ice sharks. They're there and then they're not. They're only in the title because sharks are a thing, I guess. Anyway, this one is passable. Not a bad watch if you're into kaiju and want to see a Chinese spin on giant monsters. It's not really anything special, but it was okay. Some of the acting is over the top, especially Corporate McBadguy, but the movie's watchable, and even the bad CGI is more chuckle-worthy than annoying. So I'm giving Snow Monster, or Snow Monster vs. Ice Shark, 2 paws up. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.